Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever you may have the opportunity to join me. I'm Dr. Jan, and this is Journey with Jesus, led by your tour guide, Dr. Jan. This week, I want to go back to a writing I did June of 2024, and it's called Meniscus Moments, Holding It Together. Now, before we get started, there's a few housekeeping items I'd like to take care of. First, I would like in the comments to get conversation going. Are you a person who prefers watching the video? Are you a person who would rather read the information? Or are you a person who it doesn't matter either? I want to let this be a time when I am working with you to help inspire you to love Jesus and follow him more. So again, I need to know what is best for those who are tuning in. So if in the comments you can say video, text, or either. We'll come back to that, and I will remind you at the end. And also remember, like, follow, comment, share, because again, unfortunately, underneath there are algorithms, and the more we share, the more we like, the more we get to be known. So, meniscus moments, holding it together. And you need to know that, again, my background is in science and social studies, and meniscus has long been a word that I have enjoyed. But within the last year or so, it's become much more of a word that I hold dear. So here we go. You may ask, what is meniscus? I have a background in teaching science to grades 4 through 9. This is a term I enjoy teaching because a meniscus is one of God's creations that exhibits his artistic ability of form follows function. A meniscus is a curved crescent formation that is viewed in several aspects of nature. A meniscus can be seen at the top of a column of liquid caused by surface tension. It describes the curvature of optical lenses. Even the disc of cartilage at the connection of the bone and joint, kneecap, is called a meniscus. Curvature creates a tension that binds. An arch in architecture also demonstrates the strength of curvature. An arch is designed to distribute a heavy weight placed upon it. God within our lives creates a tenacity that helps us to hold it all together. We often wonder why God doesn't instantly deliver us out of our heavy burdens. Is he smoothing our rigid linear perspective into a curved meniscus that is more flexible and durable to his working in our lives? Let's go back and see how God is strengthening our lives in the three physical meniscus examples. The liquid curvature is held together with surface tension. Acts 17:25 describes how our life is held together through God. For in him we live and move and have our being, as certain also of your own poets have said, for we are also his offspring. As we have God's presence and join that with other Christians, we are stronger than an individual drop of liquid and can rise above the surrounding confines because of our combined enmeshment of unity. The optical curved lens allows us to reflect God's light. There are two main lens curvatures, convex and concave. We need each to receive and reflect God's light. Convex appears rounded out and allows for magnification and creating sharp images. As convex reflectors of Christ, we magnify and present a clear image of him to those looking at us. A concave lens rounds in like a bowl and actually spreads light over a larger area, but not as sharp an image. We as Christians are to be a light that attracts those who are far off and need a guiding light in the right direction. The third example is our own knee. The meniscus within the knee is too smooth two smooth curvatures that function as cushions to decrease the stress, the force taken in weight bearing, and movement by the joining of the femur, the thigh bone, and tibia shin bone. Did you know the body in motion displaces gravity? We are fearfully and wonderfully made, which is Psalms 139, verse 14. However, the displacement moves through our feet up to our hips as we glide along the motion of walking. God designed us as Christians to absorb the impact of life. But to stay healthy, we must displace or cast that weight, that burden on Him. Psalms 55:22, Proverbs 16:3, 1 Peter 5:7. God and His presence becomes our lubricant that assists in avoiding injury and long-term deterioration that manifest as pain and reduced mobility. God has a plan for each of us. Jeremiah 29:11. We need to think meniscus and hold it together. With God's ability to bend our brittle plans into arches that are not only beautiful, but can bear up a load far greater with Him than we could ever sustain by our own strength. God is so good, and I am so thankful that He has given me the opportunity to read the Bible, think, contemplate, and then try to take what He has done, not only in the Bible, but in nature and our situations, and put it into practical application. So again, I would appreciate, not just for me, but for you and your friends and family to like, comment, share this episode, and to get people very interested in following us in Facebook. I'm also going to put the link to the YouTube because I usually post here on Facebook first, and then the video will wind up being on YouTube sometime next week, so that there are people who follow YouTube but they don't follow Facebook. So we're wanting to get this information out. Our people who love the Lord need to feel like they're in community. And there are some people who they sort of don't know. And hopefully these Journey with Jesus will introduce them to the gospel in a way that will draw them to Jesus, and then they need the nurturing. So please like, follow, comment, share. And the comments below today especially needs to know, do you really watch more of the video? Do you read and would rather just follow the text because you can follow it, or both, you don't care? And let us know, how does this help, especially in times like this? We look around the world, I wrote this back June of 2024, and life has not gotten any easier, but God is the same yesterday, today, and forever. And His desire for us is to depend upon Him, so that the meniscus of we are in this world, but not of this world, is built upon Him. And He is our arch, which is able to distribute that weight throughout Him. His yoke is easy, His burden is light, and that we can then face every day with a joy and an anticipation of how God is going to get us through every day. Love you, and we'll see you next week.